What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. How's everybody doing out there today? Now, this is going to be one of the few times I'm able to actually get an assignment in for the MIHL finals for the local stuff for me between the Michigan Shadow and the Kalkaska Kings. So let's get into some Stanley Cup playoffs. This will be the first time I get to grit my teeth in here for the 2026 edition. It'll be the Montreal Canadiens, the third seed in the Atlantic. They're 48, 24, and 10. Taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, 50, 26, and 6. Both teams are 2-2 in this series, and we're about 5 minutes from puck drop, so this should be good to get everything across the board. So head coach by Martin Saint-Louis, the Montreal Canadiens sound like this: Nick Suzuki, Caufield, Juraj, Slafkovsky, Mike Matheson, and Alexander Carrier. Philip Danault, Josh Anderson, Jake Evans with Caden Gooley and Lane Hutson, Brandon Gallagher, Alex Newhook, Ivan Demidov, with Kirby Doc, Zach Bolduc, and Alexander Texier. Jaden Struble and Arbor Jacki Wi-Fi will be the third defense, as Noah Dobson will be out for the year. I think Jakub Dobson will be the goaltender of record. Of note for Dobson and Vasilevsky, they've had some good games. They've had some not so good games. There's been some ones that have been a below 900 save percentage, but they've been the same goaltenders all the way across the board. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, head coach by John Cooper, it sounds like this: Brayden Point, Brandon Hagel, Nikita Kucherov, J.J. Moser with Darren Raddysh, Anthony Cirelli, Yanni Gourde, Jake Guentzel with Ryan McDonough and Eric Chernak on the back end, Dominic James, Gage Gonsalves, Oliver Bjorkstrand with Nicholas Paul, Zemgus Girgensons, and Corey Perry one more time around. Emil Martinson Lilleberg will be the third line defense with Maxwell Crozier. And the big cat, Andrei Vasilevsky, will get his start in the goal crease. Now, I will go through this very quickly as we go through the anthems. Every single one of these games so far have been decided by one goal. The last three score lines of 2, 3, and 4 were all 3-2, with 2 of them decided in OT. So in the fourth, they went for Montreal to open in Tampa. 10 total power plays combined, both teams 5 for 10. Juraj Slafkovsky had a power play hat trick. Brandon Hagel scored twice. Dobson gets the win-stopping 20-23. Vasilevsky had a rough outing, 15-19 in the loss. 3-2 game 2. Tampa bounces back as they split in Montreal. 7 power plays. The only to score on it is Montreal. That's 4 already for them in 2 games. Kucherov, 12:33 of the third, ties the game at 2. Janis Moser wins it before the halfway mark of the OT. Big Cat, 25-27, much better. Line activity level increases as Dobson stops 31 of 34 in the loss. Game 3, Montreal wins 3-2 in OT. 9 power plays. Tampa is the only to score on it. Texier Point the first, Hagel and Kirby Doc in the second before a scoreless third. Lane Hutson got the game winner as Montreal depth combines for 7 points outside of the Hutson superstar status. So depth for Montreal wins that one. Dobson can only manage 15-17 in the loss. Vasilevsky, another sub-900 effort, but it was good enough, 26-29. And then this last game, Tampa won 3-2. First regulation win of the series, a staggering 13 power plays. Tampa was 1 for 7. Montreal was 1 for 6. So let's keep score. 13 and 9 is 22. 7 more of those is 29. 39 power plays with the 10 from game 1 to game 4 in these 4 games. 39 power plays. So that is not something that we're going to see a little bit less of. Now, after the first round, you would expect those numbers to go down. But I think we're going to see, if you go over under 5-6, I think that's probably where at least we'll be. In game 4, the shot board was held in that victory, even though there was 13 power plays, 20-18. Tampa held the shot board. They won the game. They lost the face-off battle 37-20, though, and they had 15 giveaways, and they were out hit 50-28. You could say Tampa was lucky to win that game, but they did. Canadiens had a 2-0 lead, but they blew it. It was Bolduc and Caufield who got their first to the playoffs. But then Tampa comes back and responds. They complete the comeback in the third, scoring twice as Hagel added a pair. Guentzel got his first. Sub-900 save percentages were enough one more time. Big Cat only had to stop 16 of 18 in the victory. Dobson was 17 of 20 in the loss. So that is staggering. So keep in mind, low shot totals, despite the amount of ridiculous amount of power plays, and 1-goal games, lots of power plays, lots of OT. Hopefully we will see maybe a little bit of a change in that one. Maybe this could be as nail-biting again. Maybe 2 goals, maybe another regulation win. But there's a lot to think about in this series. I think Game 5 is an interesting spot to start. We'll be there in a second. This will be the site, Benchmark International Arena. I just can't believe they changed it from Amelie. Andre Vasilevsky, 69 and 52 throughout the playoffs, 245, 917, 7 shutouts. Again, they didn't even show Jakub Dobson on the other end. We just dropped the puck. So as this series goes 2-2, it'll be the Montreal Canadiens with a long flip. They got the white shirts with the red top and the blue pants and the mix of the all blue and the white font for the Bolts. Another one of those times where we watch them in the playoffs, but this Atlantic matchup is very interesting with all of these games being decided by 1 goal. Gooley had it for a moment. This will go back to Mike Matheson, and he'll have to start again. I'm watching this one on ESPN 2. We have a mix of NBA playoff games. I can't even follow the Pistons because they're on Prime. As this is picked up now toward the right side, and Gooley again can't hold. He'll have to hustle back into his own end where Dobson will play this behind the net. He bounces it off the glass, and this was an attempt there for Tampa. They misplay it, and now back in behind the inboards. This is picked up off the referee. This will bounce back to the left side red line, and Tampa now as Yanni Gourde gets bumped off the puck, and Gooley will fire it around the inboards. Already got a lot of call-outs for him. Here's a one-timer blocked in the middle of the slot. It hurt Eric Chernak. It'll go back around the inboards as Cirelli will play this to Guentzel near the left side line. Here's a good offhand shovel into the right side corner for Dominic James. He's being bothered by Lane Hutson as the shot is wide of Jakub Dobson. Picked up now near the left side blue line. This is contested in the middle of the benches and back now to the Montreal defense. Played in off the backhand as this will be looped and across the corner. Start again for Emil Lewis and Lilleberg. Put this one back now for Kirby Doc. In his zone end on the backhand. He'll go for the back pass. Lane and Hutson will use the pivot now to the left side of the window as Doc with an outstretched pass bounces off of one of the Lightning skates. And Martin St. Louis squad chases in the left side red line. Picked up now, will be dwarfed by a couple of puck attempts there as Texier as this is still in the corner. Corey Perry out there as well. Put this to the left side line. This will be flipped down. Played across by Struble. And then the left side red line dumped in as the Big Cat will touch this with the goal stick. 17:25 left to go in the first. No shots on goal to tell you about. I guess that's been the story of the series as you profiled in the open. Back pass there. Gergensons now tries to get this one in the corner. This will go back now. Alex Newhook on his back skate. This does not hit him as this goes across the bolt, right across center ice. Intercepted. Newhook fires it wide. Rebound. Scores! Newhook chases it into the corner. And it's finished off, I believe, by Brayden Gallagher. And Montreal has the first goal of the game inside 3 minutes. So Brandon Gallagher is going to get the primary from Alex Newhook, who chased in the corner. Gallagher just came off the bench, zipped right to the net. He got a loose backhand. It beat Vasilevsky. And Vasilevsky is spotting 0. And his save percentage right now is Montreal is 1 for 1. It's a dream start for them inside the first 3 minutes. This will be gloved down by Matheson. He's got some more work to do as Montreal now tries to get this left side red line here. Slafkovsky will take a wrister. This one hums and hits the glass. Goes all the way back down to Dobson, way outside of his goal crease near the left side red line as Matheson has to stop and start. There's a long outlet pass for Caden Gooley. Bounce this one off as the forwards will get this one in. Tampa now will chip it off the glass and do the same. This goes back now to Gooley. Take a big hit near the left side red line as Montreal content to dump it in. And this will be Nick Suzuki, the captaincy for Montreal. Intercepted. Gooley shoots quickly, and the Big Cat will snare it with the glove hand as we get some pushing and shoving right out in front at 15:44. So 2 shots for Montreal, nothing yet for Tampa. Again, that's just off of my top of my head because it's not shown on ESPN. Really, the only person on ESPN that provides any good coverage is Emily Kaplan. If she could run everything across the board and fix all the crowd sounds and everything else for shots on goal 1-2, then ESPN would be living right because she's the only other one that's worth keeping. As Gallagher gets that picture of that goal and the rebound there from the effort of Alex Newhook. Martin St. Louis, again, I always think of him as the Tampa Bay Lightning man and the Stanley Cup champion, but now he's coaching against his former team. You'd think you'd have to know a little bit, wouldn't you have to guess that, as it's picked up now into the left side red line. This is Doc out there as well. Again, no Patrick Laine because of the abdomen, and Noah Dobson up for the year. Sent toward the net again. Doc was in front of the crease. Montreal doing a good job. They clean it out in front of Vasilevsky's net. Try to get to Gooley now. And Tampa, Kucherov, his pass, he tried to feather it across, I believe, for Hagel. And that was intercepted. Zachary Bolduc loses it. Now they got the shots on board finally, as it's still 2-0 as I dictated inside the first 5 minutes. This will be sent toward Dobson. That will count as one as it bounces off the left blade. Got the lightning bug there for Tampa trying to get the crowd into it. It's only a 1-goal deficit for the Bolts. I'm wondering what you really think, whether or not Montreal or Tampa should have the advantage in this matchup, because I happen to believe that Montreal Canadiens, Ken Hughes, as I've profiled many times, this is an excellent squad. It would not surprise me if their goaltending gets better across the years, if they could really compete for something. As the first shot goes wide of Dobson, picked up now near the left side off the flip. This just gets across the blue. Picked up now for Alex Newhook, who already has a primary. Here's the spin and turn away from Lilleberg. And Janis Moser now will push this one ahead. Shot board is 2-1 inside the first 6 minutes at Benchmark International. Back in behind the net now is Montreal. This is backhanded toward the crease of Dobson, who's in the stand-up near the right post. And the Bolts trying to get something. Here's Dominic James. He can walk in and shoot. And this is deflected by Dobson, but he'll hold on to it between the 5-hole as the shot board is even at 2. Looks like we might step aside here. We'll see. 4-3 is the record this season against Tampa. 244 and a 902, including playoffs. So that's got to be better. Jacob Fowler, essentially the rookie, and behind them, and Sam Montembeault is the one that has the most experience. But for Sam, he's a guy that about an 860, and you can't put him in at this point of the game. We'll take a break. So shot board 2-2 in the first 6 minutes. See what we got here. 2 hits, 2 face-offs. That's nothing for Tampa on either side. Gallagher from New Hook, so indeed that is what it is. So through 4 games, both teams have 2 wins, 11 goals, and they're pretty much the same save percentage and shots. Tied 70% of the time. First 4 games, 3 or 4 decided in overtime, as we mentioned. So the teeter-totter between these two, it only takes a little bit to slice it one way. We haven't seen that yet, but an even strength goal does matter. Kucherov's one-timer will get denied. An easy save for Dobson. And slide over. That shot was a little bit slow for Kuch as well. At 82, all things considered, his point was the one that set it up. 13:35 left to go in the first. But the sticks in the lane for Montreal. Again, this is my first look at the Stanley Cup playoffs in general this year. But their positional defense is what has been noticeable so far. And again, that has to be paramount because we talk about in terms of whether it's Dobson, Fowler, or Montembeault. You got guys that combine for about an 860 save percentage, things all told. So you've got to play a strong defensive game. Now, if they find a way to get themselves a much better netminder, not saying Dobson or Fowler won't develop into one, I'm on record in saying Montreal can be a really good team to compete for Stanley Cup championships for quite a while. Their window seems to be wide open, and Ken Hughes has done an excellent job. So that would be the one thing that you have to try to figure out. Is Demidov now will lose this one in the corner, and Eric Chernak picks it across the right side. Good move, Suzuki off the windmill, goes for a drop pass near the right side boards. Tampa has a 3-on-2, but they got to hurry here. Guentzel now will pick up the carom near the right side boards. Montreal quickly intercepts. Put this in the other way. Off the long flip. Here is Josh Anderson. Off the drop for Nick Suzuki. Fake the one-timer. This goes back in the high slot. Lane Hutson shoots. Deflected. It's Vasilevsky up high. Drops his goal stick, but then makes the save. And again, that might be Nick Suzuki that lost a piece of it as well, as he might have got hooked in toward the face, trying to see if he can get a call. I don't think we're going to get one here at 12:30, but we'll find out here. Looks like we will. So we'll see if this is a minor. So Tampa going to go to the box for a high stick. And that is indeed what we will get. Ryan McDonough will be the guilty party. I want to look at this now that I finally get a clear view off the camera shot. That's a cross check right to the face. So no problem there for Ryan McDonough to at least sit for 2. That's what he hopes for. Right now they give a 4-minute high stick for Ryan McDonough. And now John Cooper's got the clarification there that it's 4 minutes. That's why he was throwing a little bit of a cross and being upset. But I guess they did get a little bit of a blood there on Suzuki. I'm not seeing it. Maybe toward the nose. It looks like they got that all squared away, but this is a giant opportunity now. So Ryan McDonough in the box for a double minor for high stick. And the Canadiens essentially will get the first 2 power plays of the game. Slafkovsky, Doc, Caufield, Demidov, and Hutson on the ice for this power play unit. J.J. Moser will be the backhand defense for John Cooper's squad. 3:50 thereabouts left to go in the power play. 12:20 in the first. Johnny are with you from Benchmark International. This is Game 5, Round 1 of the Bolts and the Canadiens. This series tied at 2. This is a pivotal swing game. Suzuki, great move. Gets the care of his Demidov. His shot. Slafkovsky, Caufield, Demidov now near the right side. High slot, Hutson. Moved around to Slafkovsky. Left side red line. Caufield patient. This is beautiful puck movement right now for Montreal. Marty St. Louis squad. Kept in by Hutson off the carom. Back to Caufield, left dot. Suzuki pivots. He leaves for Caufield in that same spot. Tampa just trying to hold that box of 4. Slap pass, Slafkovsky. Demidov gets it loose and behind the net of the big cat. Here's a slap pass for Suzuki. Shoots up high. No rebound. Vasilevsky's got that. 11:27 left to go in the first. 2:58 left to go in the first penalty. You got 58 seconds to carry overtime. If they do score before that, they would still get another 2. This is pretty good puck movement so far, and a good screen in front there for Slafkovsky, who's still, again, in his very early 20s. This is a very good young core. You got Demidov, Suzuki, Caufield, Slafkovsky, all those guys continuing to do damage in a bright, bright future for this team. Picked up now off the tie-up, new hook. Try to get this one back to the point. Texier. Now for Mike Matheson. This power play line numero dos. Zach Bolduc into the passing lane across the screen. Texier picks it up. High slot now. Chases Matheson. Matheson now for Texier near the left dot. This goes back to Mike. High slot. Alexander now shoots to the screen, and this will be deflected by Tampa. First 9 minutes have expired. Shot board is at 4 apiece. Here is Matheson. 5 power plays, 7 even strength goals for the Canadiens in this series. New hook. Former Colorado Avalanche man loses it. Tampa now trying to counter. Hagel. He steps through, and that wrister would try to get played by Dobson, but it got deflected. If he didn't get a piece of that, that might have been 1-1, shorthanded. Doc now, as the first minor expires, carries it in. Now for Texier, and off the backboards. Bolduc now for Alexander, goes to the left side dot. Texier, fake the slapper Matheson. Back to Alexander. Matheson fires a bomb. This goes off the backboards. The Kirby Doc. Texier and Hutson now in the high slot as they've changed. Try to get this one back the lane to Zach Bolduc, and this will go off the glass. Here's a chase for it. Dobson meets the measure of the moment. Will play it nicely and work in behind and leave it now for Lane. 1:20 left to go in Montreal's power play. It's an even strength goal to start it. Cole Caufield has it now. Brendan Gallagher was the one that scored it. Caufield, he explodes across the right wing. He's getting tied up a little bit off a hook, and this is cleared down by the Bolts. Who'll hustle for it, but Lane Hutson gets there first. No power play shots to speak of yet for Montreal in this double minor. Cole Caufield Drop now for Suzuki. Power play number 1 back out there. Demidov's pass is blocked. Beautiful defense for John Cooper's squad as Hutson now for Caufield. Rims it around the inboards. Cleared down the ice again. Dobson. Long outstretch to Suzuki near the left side red line. Good design. Find the entry. Slafkovsky. Cross ice Demidov. On his back skate. He's being hounded. Got to work behind the net quickly there. Demidov trying to find it. Picked up by Cernak and through a couple of stick lifts. We'll get it down. The Benchmark International crowd is ecstatic here because Tampa looks like they're going to blank Montreal on this double minor. Hutson entering the right wing now against the boards. He's stuck in a pivot, and the power play expires as this goes down the left side red line. Filipino off the steal. Back to even strength here. It's loose in front. McDonough onto the box. He'll clean up the mess in front of the net. Picked up now, 5 aside as this goes to the left side red line. Cernak, big hit. Hagel didn't get it all, but he got enough to launch the puck loose. 8 minutes left to go in the first. Hagel, this pass is misfired. He'll get off the ice. And Montreal to start again on their own end. They lead 1-0, but they did not have a shot on goal in that power play. Picked up now near the left side blue line in between a couple of stick lifts. Gets it away from Kucherov and a chase for it. Back across. This is recollected there, and Lilleberg takes a hit as Yanni Gord tries to get the steal. Tampa now will accelerate from right to left. Here is Bjorkstrand. This went off the side of the cage, and a turnaround chance bounces up and behind the net of Dobson as Lilleberg trying to make life difficult. Zachary Bolduc able to escape it. Picked up now across the right side boards and a good cancel off as Tampa try to get the steal. 7:10 left to go in the first. Here is Struble with a shot. This one deflected right to the bolts. Left side red line as Eric Cernak cleans it up. Puts it back in behind Dobson. This is bounced off of Gage Gonsalves. He takes a hit. Long flip. I don't know if this is a delay of game or not. Might have hit the netting. 6-5. 6:54 left to go in the first. And I think Montreal might be going to the box for a delay of game. I might have hit the netting and bounced back in. I was trying to get that second look. That's initially what I thought it might have been. And it looks like that's indeed what will be the call, as the Bolts will get the first power play of the game. Bjorkstrand's chance off the backhand was feathered off the outside of the opposite post. It did. It hit the right side of the bar away from Dobson as we take a break. Let's see who got the delay game. That is high stick on McDonough, Jake Evans, puck over glass. If I show the screen there, Bubbles, we can't do the stream. So that's YouTube copyright. Otherwise, I would be able to do so, my friend. That's what I always have to tell you, but I appreciate it. We'll be following along with the play-by-play, and I'll give you the game story nonetheless. Penguins and Flyers are going to be getting underway here in about 10 minutes. And then the Mammoth and Golden Knights will be the late game. That one's tied 2-2 in the series as well, just like this one. The Flyers were up 3-0. The Penguins have came back to get 2. Depending on the day, because today is Wednesday. That would be Friday. I might be able to sneak that one in if Alec wants to do a Game 7 question mark. That would be in May 1st if we get to that. So Jake Evans, delay game puck over glass. Guentzel now as we get the overhead look. Dobson just gets blocked out in front. This is not my favorite camera angle, but we have to stick through it now. As Kucherov near the left side dot. Here's Guentzel in the left side. Goes back to Kuch. Here's a clapper. This one goes just wide and cleared back down the ice. As this is going to kill some time here. Short-handed. Inside out move. A great move there for a short-handed chance for Nick Suzuki, but Vasilevsky is up to the task for it. My goodness, as this is picked up behind the inboards now for Nikita Kucherov. He'll get a chance to start again as it's Brayden point near the right side dot. Drop for Guentzel on the high slot. That's where Darren Raddysh is now. Left side dot for Guentzel. Kucherov doesn't pick it up, and his clearing attempt goes back around to him, so it gives the Tampa Bolts here, second chances. Point picks it up. He gets denied in the middle of the slot by Dobson, his best save. And now behind the inboards now. Hagel with a stick chop, the former Chicago Blackhawk. Hagel takes somebody down in the battle of it, but it was clean. And Montreal steals it now. They will clear this one off a Tampa body and send it down the ice. 30 seconds left to go in the Bolts power play as it's Darren Raddysh. We'll drop this one for Gage Gonsalves. Gonsalves now for Dom James. This is intercepted again. Alex Newhook. He's on his lonesome here. Power move toward the net. Moser finally takes it away. Another stick play. Good read there from Marty San Luis' squad, but Cirelli can escape across the gut. Cirelli moved to the net. He gets taken off the puck. And this is intercepted now. Texier in a battle with Moser. And we get a whistle, 4 seconds. Would have been an offside. 4:57 left to go in the first. So Alex Newhook and Nick Suzuki, excellent work there. Short-handed Suzuki makes a great move around Kucherov with a windmill, and then his backhand just gets a piece of it with the trapper. Does the big cat. Otherwise, it could have been 2-0 for Montreal. Really good start to the game here for Montreal. Again, this team has been, and this game has been about as even as you like. 101 points in the regular season. First Canadian skater with that marker over 40 years. As Evans back out of the box. There's a broken stick in Montreal's defensive end. Now they're going to take a second effort to get this out of the zone. Slafkovsky is the one up front shooting for offense. Gord's pass for Bjorkstrand. Again, they'd spent some time alongside the Seattle Kraken. Now back alongside with Tampa. Second tour of duty. As Chernak now near the left side of the glass. Yanni Gord tries to give chase. Mike Matheson will play a crisscross. He's got to pivot quickly behind his own net and get this started again because Tampa was really humming on that forecheck. Matheson now. Here for Alex Struble. Struble takes a hit, makes a play. This one is Texier. Flip this one behind the inboards now is Dom James. Will get hit. Corey Perry on his backhand. Turnaround shot. This is held by Dobson. She wanted to play it quickly, and then Perry gets hit by Jackeye and Bolduc as it's 3:53 left to go in this first. Pistons got a 38-26 lead. That one only on Prime. They're down 3-1 in the series of the Magic. It's a 60-win team. I said this openly about my own team. I don't think they're – it says 60 wins. I don't think they're a 60-win team. And if the Orlando Magic were completely healthy, they would probably be a top 4 seed. So this is a tough matchup for Detroit. I'm not making excuses. They need to win the series. They got to find a way to come back and get out of the first round. I don't know if they will, but that is what they need to do. But I don't expect the Detroit Pistons, even if they did, they're not a championship team. They're not going to win one. I'd be happy if they can get to the third round but that's about as best as they can do the Eastern Conference Finals because I'm still worried about the Cavs and the Boston Celtics, not even when you're supposed to be thinking about the Magic because they're a really good defensive team, maybe partially better than the Pistons at times, but they cannot shoot the three at all either. So there's really no excuse to be down by that much in the series. It's the Raptors and the Cavs at 7:30, and then the Rockets and Lakers. Lakers look to close out Game 5 against the Rockets. That would really sting for them, all things considered. But the Lakers are favored by 3.5. Braves already got a 2-0 lead on the Tigers, so Scooble's already given up a couple. And the Guardians won their game, so if the Tigers lose, they'll be in second at 15-16. It'll be 16-16, I think, for the Guardians. .242 playoff games for Corey Perry, third all time. Again, he's trying to be on the right side of history. He's got one, but he wants more. That was with the Ducks. Sent back on behind the inboards now for Darren Raddysh. Cross ice feet had a lot of heat on it. This is off the backboard. Cirelli can't chase it. And Marty Saint-Louis squad. Great stick for Kucherov. Had it for a moment. And this will go back to Darren Raddysh. Near the left side red line. We'll send this in. The first 2 minutes have expired between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. That back at the Wells Fargo Center. Or Xfinity Mobile, I should say now, I believe it is. As it's picked up now. For Caufield. Turnaround chance. Caufield takes a couple of hits. And this goes back now to the Montreal defense. Here's Caden Gooley now with Mike Matheson crisscross. Matheson now patient. Tampa fans don't like it, but they'd like to see Victor Hedman back if Tampa advances into this series. Who likes to take those abbreviated timeouts behind the net. Tampa inexplicably coughs it up. Yanni Gourde has this bounce in between. Montreal is onside. Brayden points stick chop as Gallagher falls down trying to make a play. This is a good forecheck here for the jerseys in white. Turnaround now for Tampa. Stick goes flying. Right across center ice. Tampa's got it. Here's a pass for Chernak to the left side dot. Chernak wants it back. He'll just pivot. Change ends here for Hagel. Throws it in an open corner for Brayden Point. Point now on his forehand. They'll leave it around the inboards now as Yanni Gourde gets hit. And this might be a hook and hold against Montreal. Caden Gooley, I think, is going to get busted at 2:08. Tampa looks like they might be getting their second power play. And the whistle was blown dead. I'm assuming that's what we'll get unless I'm looking at Yanni Gourde going in the box. We'll give you the clarification there. It looks like Caden Gooley and Yanni Gourde at this point, some offsetting at 17:52. So they're going to take both parties holding the stick, and then Caden Gooley might be a little bit of an embellishment on the other end, a hold against Yanni Gourde and a hold of the stick. So they're just going to even it up here at 17:52. They'll take both. It's 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. That's an 8-second difference in the game clock on the first. My name is John Ott. I'm your play-by-play man for this Game 5 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And between the Bolts and the Canadiens at Benchmark International Arena, watching this one on ESPN numero dos, as they're showing some of the open up there for Kucherov to send those passes across. But shot board has been at a premium in this series per usual, and it's kind of stayed that way. I wish that ESPN would keep those shots up, but they don't. As Jakob Dobson throws this around, Guentzel doing a good job in pursuit. Matheson now going to go back. Juraj Slafkovsky will help if it goes to the right side. This will be a lead now for Mike. Picked up now near the left side. Montreal escapes. This is Slafkovsky on a one-on-one. He gets moved outside of the backhand. Vasilevsky canceled off of the goal stick. Guentzel bounces off of Gonsalves. And Raddysh Raddysh now will push his way ahead away from the other defenseman and Matheson. This will be flipped to Demidov. He's another good-looking rookie for the Montreal Canadiens, Ivan Demidov, for Canadiens squad. 1:05 left to go in the 4-on-4. Here is Crozier, Maxwell Crozier, into the glove of Jakub Dobson at 1:09. So 5 out of 6 for Vasilevsky, 8 out of 8 for Dobson. .50 seconds left to go in the first. This is just sent back and behind the inboards. Montreal hasn't had a shot in about 12 minutes. As this is picked up now and across the inboards, Crozier going to have to get it back. Plays it off the embankment. Hagel now on his back pass. It's a defensive chess match right now across the neutral zone in the final 25 seconds. As players continue to come together, Suzuki tried to pry it loose from Newhook. Bounces in that same spot. Crozier pick it up for a third time. And now Tampa will retreat in their own end. They got time to go 200 feet if they want to, but a couple pirouettes in behind the net might just cancel it out. Crozier now for Kucherov. His one outstretched pass off the drop, and that ends the first as that leaves the zone. It's 1-0 Montreal, courtesy of a Brendan Gallagher goal. Even strength from Alex Newhook, and that's it, and that's all. The shot board is only 8-6. Montreal 0 for 2 on the power play. Tampa 0 for 1. And before I let you go here for this first, let's just do this live. The hits are 15-9 for Montreal. Face-offs 7-5 in their favor as well. To come back, we'll call the second. Stay tuned. It's not much to tell you about in this first. I mean, it's been a defensive game as we expected. Newhook chases the rebound in the corner, and Gallagher comes on the ice and finishes the backhand. 1-0 Montreal, one shot, one goal. Shopard was 2-2 in the first 6, and McDonough high stick, double minor. Montreal gets nothing, a delay of game from Jake Evans. Tampa doesn't score. And again, we just profiled what the stats were. And that goal was inside the first 3 minutes. We'll flip live here because we got a 15-minute intermission to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Let's see if Alec is streaming this game today. He is not, so it's just me today. I'll be right back. Got about 4.5 minutes before the second period is set to begin. Penguins and Flyers still scoreless, 8:30 left to go in the first. Again, as mentioned, the Mammoth and Golden Knights will be your late game. That series tied at 2-2. Philadelphia has a third straight chance to finish off the Penguins. I was looking to see if Alec Nava was streaming that game. Now, I believe that would be Friday. Saturday I cannot do because I have my MIHL assignment, even though it's from home between Kalkaska and the Shadow. I was going to do game 1 updates at 6:30. So I'm out for Saturday. Friday could be another one of those that we could stream. We could go back to Lightning and Canadiens or Sabres Bruins. Maybe I will do Sabres Bruins. It also would be 3-2 at that point. Or Golden Knights and Mammoth. I know Cooper said he would be available in May. I don't think it'd be Friday, May 1st. We'd have to figure out something next week into round 2. Any game 7s on Sunday would be Bruins, Sabres, Mammoth, Golden Knights, or Canadiens, Lightning. Sunday, I will definitely do one. Should we need one. So Friday would be my next stream, and then probably Sunday. Tigers scored 3 runs on the Braves. That is good news for me. They scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third. McGonigal singled to center. Jace Young scored off the call-up for Javi Baez, and Riley Green homer to center. Answers Ozzy Albies. With all due respect to Javier Baez, I mean, I don't want to see him get injured or any of that stuff like that, but you would think Jace Young has to be a little bit of improvement. Detroit needs to answer to improve their away record. They'd be 6-13 even if they win, but just to stay in first in the Central. Pistons only up by 9 as we're getting close to the half. 50-41. The Raptors up 22-18 on the Cavs. That series also tied at 2 games apiece. I said your votes. Who needs this game more tonight to go up 3-2 in the series? And all 6 of you say the Montreal Canadiens. That's interesting because Tampa has the experience. We've talked about that many times alongside Cooper, myself, and Alec. But you're getting to the point now where I don't know if Tampa's going to win anymore. We've said that over the last few years. I think I would play devil's advocate and say Tampa needs to win this game more than Montreal does. Because if they don't, I think this series is done. I guess you could say the same thing for Montreal, but I don't buy that. I think Montreal could at least force a game 7. I don't think they're going anywhere in this series, in my opinion. I think Montreal is the better team. We're going to get set for the start of the second period. We profiled the shot numbers and everything else are very low. 2 power plays for Montreal. They don't score 1 for Tampa. TJ Oshie says, I'm embarrassed to see from the first period that it was from Tampa. Let's get going. Let's get some shots. Let's go hit somebody. be physical. I don't think Tampa really has that team anymore. It's not for one of those ones that say quote-unquote dog in them. I just don't know for Tampa as far as the rest of it. They're top-heavy, they're good, but they're not really pressing in this series. It has been low event for the most part. Yeah, it's been entertaining with all the OTs and the 3-2s and the one-goal games. Won 12 straight playoff games and leading after the first period as Montreal. So that kind of shows you, even though it's only 1-0, they're able to play the game that they want to against a team even like Tampa. That's why I keep saying how good they are. It's picked up now to the right side. That also is to tell you that for the Red Wings, it's probably better off that they didn't make it because they would have just got embarrassed anyway. The only bad thing there is you give up your first-round pick. Here's a chance out in front that gets deflected, and this one's sent back down. But the only thing for me for Tampa is you do got to get those shots because Dobish, Montembeault, who would be the tertiary backup and alongside Jacob Fowler, you got to test them. If you don't do that, then it doesn't really hurt, even though their numbers are bad. 18:47 left to go in the first, as Lane Hutson is getting a profile alongside Emily Kaplan. 1-0, Brendan Gallagher, the only goal in the first 3 minutes from Alex Newhook. Newhook chases the puck near the left side red line, and then Gallagher goes up and knocks it down right in off the backhand. And we're getting a penalty away from the play. Lane Hutson going to get the delay game for the puck over glass. And they didn't even show it on the camera side, so I'm not going to blame myself this time around. That's why they didn't show it, as he was picking it up off the bounce off the glass. He tried to lift it out and delay a game again. It's the second time. Jake Evans did that in the first. Lane Hudson's done it 1:13 in the second. Caden Goulet got a hold against Yanni Gord, then Gord was the same thing on the other end that offset, but Tampa gets their second power play. I don't think it's a must score yet, but they got to get chances here on the net against Dobson. We'll see what they can do. Shot board only 8-6 for Tampa. They need more. Here's Darren Raddysh. Near the left side dot, drop for Brayden Point. Point now left side red line, makes the pass across for Guentzel. This is Raddysh. On the high slot, Hagel. He can walk in. His pass gets deflected off the skate blade as Hagel retrieves it in the corner. Matheson now off the spin and turn. He gets dispossessed by Point. Hagel now on the left side boards loses it. This will be settled now. Here for Evans off the back pass. And he'll send this one down deep. Darren Raddysh. As 50 seconds have set to expire on Tampa's second power play, Montreal's got 2. Point on the drop for Guentzel. Back to Brayden to the left side. Dot Hagel try to hold it in. And another good penalty kill here for Montreal. The delayed offside means Tampa couldn't touch. And that will allow them to kill some more time as Goulet hits it off the glass. Philippe Danault smartly throws it into his own end back to D. And then kill more time to clear off the ice. As number 88, the big cap, plays Darren Raddysh. No shots on goal yet in the second power play for Tampa. Raddysh slowly off the drop for Dominic James. James almost fans on it. Windmills now tries to go to the backhand. He gets dispossessed near the left side of the glass. And Montreal flips it down again. 25 seconds left to go in Tampa's power play. They've done nothing here. J.J. Moser slowly. He'll send this one back to Gage Consalvis. What do they want to do here? Dom James now. Here for Corey Perry. James throws it around the corner. This is picked off by Anthony Cirelli. Cirelli now in the high slot for Moser. Fake the slap pass. Goes back to Janis. Shoots. Deflected. And now Anthony Cirelli. JJ. Now for Cirelli. Toward the right side of the net. This deflected. And right out of the box. That's Lane Hutson. He gets it. Backhand puck protect. Hutson to the net. Tries to bank it off Slafkovsky. He makes a save near the back post. Montreal almost scores as Lane Hutson comes out of the box. But the big cat is aware. And there's a good denial near that right post. That would have been absolutely dangerous for Kirby Dach and Lane Hutson to combine on the play. Hutson pushes off Cirelli with the offhand, kind of like a la stiff arm in football. And it was Newhook also trying to help with Kirby Dach to shove it in at 16:32. That is excellent work there for Lane. Kirby will take this. Here's a drop now for Lane Hutson. Stick gets knocked out of the air. Wrister deflected. Tampa now will chase it. And to the right side, Gonsalves has to back up. He doesn't have a stick. He finishes a big hit in the right side corner. Now tries to kick the puck to his teammate, Yanni Gord, who just flips it off the backhand shovel. Settled down now near the left side red line is Montreal content to dump it in. 16 minutes left to go in the second. Tampa needs to get going on the other end. Here's Gonsalves near the right side of the glass. No shots since 3:55 in the first period. That's toward the end of the first in the final 4 minutes, but it's been a while. Here's a chance of the net. Dobson, it's loose, and Dach helps to scramble for it as Jack-Eye throwing some bombs down in the middle of the scrum. Dobson might be shaken up. I don't think so. He will knock out the cobwebs, make the save, and slowly get to his feet. Crozier and Jack-Eye, we'll see if they'll get some offsetting. Maxwell Crozier, he's shaking his head yes about the physicality. Looks like Daniel Bryan with the yes on it. This will be looped toward Crozier. There was a rebound opportunity that was knocked loose, and then Dach, Texier, Jack-Eye, all were in the mix. See what the penalty call is going to be. We just got a signal from the Zebra. Looks like Arbor Jack-Eye with a minor against Max Crozier. I don't see anything else on the ESPN box just yet. That was listed at 4:17 as we still sit 15:38 left to go in the second. And 2 consecutive power plays for the Lightning, it sounds like. So Arbor Jack-Eye Wi-Fi is going to sit in the box. And Tampa gets a second consecutive power play. Darren Raddysh. Kucherov. Toward the right side dot. Kucherov head fakes. He loses the handle. This could be a breakaway. Into the backhand. And Vasilevsky denies a big save off of there for the other way. I want to get a number on that for you. And Jake Evans, that was 71. Darren Raddysh, now for Kucherov. Raddysh faked the slap pass. That's Brandon Hagel now. Near the left side dot. Hagel. He pivots, fakes the pass, and gets it back. It's Raddysh in the high slot. Kucherov now. Will circumvent the Guentzel. Get it back now in that same spot. Kucherov shoots, hits Dobson up high. Picked up by Raddysh on the left side. Kucherov with a clapper, and this will be deflected by Hagel, but Dobson has it at 14:52 of the second. Jake Evans almost scores shorthanded as he creates a stick in the lane, and a little bit of a help there allows Jake to explode right across center ice. He's canceled off a little bit by Darren Raddysh, but Vasilevsky still has to make a big save as he tries to fake to the backhand forehand. Vasilevsky says no, sir, and makes that look easy as 50 seconds have expired in Tampa's second consecutive. They'd be 0 for 3 if they don't score. Montreal 0 for 2. They didn't score on that double minor against McDonough, as this will be lit back down. Here's a race for it now, and Vasilevsky makes a smart play, gets it to Raddysh. This goes straight up across the Bolts logo. Here's a drop now for Kuch. Has to rim it around the end boards for Guentzel. Guentzel now used body positioning, cancel off the puck. Here's point. Kucherov, one touch, good puck movement. Guentzel right dot, try to feed it to Raddysh, high slot. This is Guentzel. Kucherov, passing was good for Tampa, but they got nothing out of it as the shot goes up and on a play. 37 seconds in their second consecutive power play. 13-8 on the shot board. Trying to work their way from the left post to right, and Kucherov's chance deflects off Dobish's blade and goes up and on a play. 13-8 on the shot board. Tampa's still looking for their first goal. Brendan Gallagher has got the first inside 3 minutes from Alex Newhook. That's their only goal of the game right now. Looks like Brayden Point may get kicked out of the circle, or we'll just do this again. Kucherov will be the direct man back near the right side dot. That was Guentzel had set to take it. His point was kicked out. Back to the big cat. 30 seconds left to go in Tampa's second consecutive power play. This one looking just as unfruitful. They'd be 0 for 3. Brayden point, number 21. And off the drought loose for Oliver Bjorkstrand. Makes one man miss. Off the stutter step. Here, Darren Raddysh trying to buy himself some space. Kucherov fans on it. Picks it back up now in the high slot. Fake the slap pass. Here it comes for Raddysh. This one gets blocked. Raddysh chases it into the corner. And Montreal successfully clears it down the ice. Vasilevsky forced to leave the left side red line. Play it. Here is Kuch. Now to the left side dot. Gets around Guentzel. He gets it up high. Does point. Elbowed right in the grill. And then a slash near the left of the skate. Not called. As Montreal sends it the other way. Turn back around now. Gonsalves trying to dwarf the opponent. This is just picked up near the left side red line. And Tampa, it's a 2-on-1. McDonough on the other side. Mr. Scores! It's a tie game! Dominic James! 1-1. 13-11. In off the rush, Dominic James races across the right wing. And his lift beats Dobson on the other side. And we're all square. So Dominic James helps Tampa even the score at 1-1. They were 0 for 3 on the power play. Drive at the net, and this is it immediately. Montreal responds. I got to get a number on that one. The ref signals goal. It might have bounced off McDonough, and it's a 2-1 lead. It's Kirby Dach. I think he's the first of the celebration line. Again, I didn't miss anything. I just turned back on the recorder. And then as soon as Dom James gets a big one, Doc, and then the left side red line, as Vasilevsky tries to poke it away, he kicks it back to his skates and then roofs it past the big cat. And Montreal's got the lead that quickly. My goodness. Again, this was at 6:49, and 11 seconds later, it's Kirby Dach. Puck goes up and on a play. Punch, counter punch. Talk about that. Tampa Bay Lightning get one. Dom James from Gage Gonsalves and Yanni Gourde listed by ESPN at 6:49. And then right in off the face-off, Kirby Dach powers towards the left side red line. He gets it knocked away initially off the Tampa poke check, kicks it back to his skate, and then roofs it near the right side. And Montreal takes the lead right back on the very next possession. 11 seconds apart. We'll take a break. Well, that was a hurricane of goals there very quickly, but Montreal takes the lead right back. That's your update there. I threw it in the comment box. It's worth repeating because that just happened in an instant. $12:10 left to go here in the second. It's now 2-1. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia scoreless after one. Kind of wonder if the Flyers are going to play a little bit tight, all things considered. They were up 3-0 in that series in the Battle of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And now it's completely changed. Cirelli hits the glass. Here's Hagel now with an opportunity in the left dot. And this one will be made by Dobson. 11:46 for the Battle of Pennsylvania. It was a 3-0 lead for the Flyers. Pittsburgh's come back. They've won the next two. They're on the road right now at Xfinity Mobile Center. And if Pittsburgh comes back again, they will actually get home ice at PPG Paints for Game 7 because, again, they're the 2 seed. Philadelphia is the 3 seed. So they really can take back home ice advantage. And then who knows? You win 4 straight games, whether or not you're going to play Carolina or whoever's next on that side. That's going to be tough, but you got to have some measure of confidence because Philadelphia has had a pretty decent year, all things considered. You don't want to see it get thrown away on either side. You don't know how many more years Sidney Crosby has left. Jake Evans, now for Matheson off the drop pass. And Littleberg will push this one on Guentzel. Nice play. Toward the left side dot. Tampa's got the entry where John Cooper's squad. This will bounce right off the end boards. Picked up now for Guentzel. This will be looped up in the air. Littleberg now. Cancel it down. Lots of traffic in front of Dobson, so I don't think that was a bad idea to shoot. It's 11-11, make a wish. And I think one of these teams are hoping for a 3-2 lead in the series. That's what we'll get after this. We're just trying to figure out who it's going to be, Montreal or Tampa. John Ott, I'm your play-by-play man at Benchmark International Arena. This is the Stanley Cup Playoffs, Round 1, Game 5 between Montreal and Tampa, 2 Atlantic Division foes. Tampa might be on the edge of their championship at this point. I've been able to say that over the years, but they don't want to go down quietly. Montreal has a lot to prove. And so do the Buffalo Sabres. They got the lead there on Boston as this one was knocked up in the air. Good pad save for Vasilevsky. Spin and turn now. Here for Littleberg. See who can find it as this is picked up now. 10:50 left to go in the second. Goals 11 seconds apart. Here for Dominic James and Kirby Dach in this period. Rister back in behind the end boards. Guentzel try to chase this in the corner. Good body contact as Texier pries it loose. Marty St. Louis squad. It's a 3-on-2. And Vasilevsky is forced to play the pass block. It bounced off his blade as Gallagher, who was benched in the first 4 games, opened the scoring for Montreal. In the first, it was 1-0. Now it's 2-1 with half regulation gone. Vasilevsky now. Slow in around the boards here. Chernak finishes his hit and now picked up here for Josh Anderson. Anderson being worked over. Got Suzuki and Caufield on that same line. Lane Hutson quickly trying to chase the end around. This would be glove down. Good play for Caufield. He lost his stick, though. the Suzuki slap shot, and this will go up and out of play off the netting as Gooley let it go at 83 miles an hour. This will be an ozone draw. We'll step out and call more. It's a 2-1 lead for Montreal. Let's go local NBA update. What are the Pistons doing now? It's 66-60 at the half. The Magic, I keep saying Montreal because we're calling it. It's another empty, and the Magic have closed up pretty well, 34-28 in that second. And the Pistons look like they're in another nail-biter. Cavs trying to hold serve at home here and force it back with a 3-2 lead in their favor, 52-49. Not a lot of scoring in that second quarter. 15-14 Raptors as the Cavs are up 52-49. Rockets Lakers is the late game on ESPN. Lakers, Luka Doncic and LeBron have a 3-1 advantage on the Rockets. I don't want to see Mr. Nava's squads in terms of the Houston Rockets and the Pittsburgh Penguins both lose in the first round. I hope he would say the same thing for me for the Detroit Pistons, but it is what it is. Red Wings never expect them to make it, but as I said, this is the last year. If they don't make it after this one, this is when I completely go fire and brimstone, as I talked about. I will not relent on it, and I won't forget about it. Bottom of the fifth between the Tigers and Braves, it's still 3-2 Tigres at this point. They are in Atlanta. They need to win games on the road. They're only 5-13. The Braves are 11-5 at home. That means their road record's pretty damn good as well. Kevin McGonigal, 2 hits again. 2 singles. Guentzel Perez has the double. Riley Green, the home run. Ozzy Albies, a 2-run home run, is the only scoring for Atlanta. They got 5 hits. The Tigers do as well. Faceoffs are 16-7, and Cirelli loses it again, so 17-7 at this point. And 18-12 on the shot board for Tampa, but it's 2-1. Kirby Doc scored the go-ahead. Answered Dominic James in this frame. Rister, this one tipped. Will be picked up now and behind the inboards now. Got to hustle back, outstretch. This is going to go right to Vasilevsky, and then a late push back and behind the net against Josh Anderson. I think cooler heads are going to prevail here. I've seen much worse contact in the game I had to cover in between the Shadow and Sharks for the locals, some in the MIHL when Polisha got checked in the net. At least they didn't have that luxury there for Josh Anderson. They were a lot more kind because that was really dangerous. As we get some side-by-side for NHL on YouTube and their advertisement. 9:29 left to go on the second. My name is John Ott. I'm your play-by-play man for this Game 5. McDonough with a late shot. Maybe it's a snow job on the Big Cat and toward the end of it, but I mean, that is very light stuff. And McDonough already has a pretty silly double high sticking minor that he doesn't want to get busted for again. He's had some questionable penalties. Again, in 2022, McDonough was the one that injured Darren Helm in one of the hits that he had to miss some time when the Avalanche won the Cup. That was the first call that we had together. It was a very emotional one there for that Stanley Cup Finals. But it was the first time that Tampa would be denied in a potential back-to-back-to-back. Here's a chip off the glass, and this will go into the crowd at 9:24. So lots of stoppages here. I guess that was the reason why I inserted the cough drop. Kirby Doc. Can't win the draw. This will belong to Tampa. Finally, I haven't said that much as far as face-offs. And then immediately intercepted. Caden Gooley goes offsides at 9:15. Still a 2-1 lead for Montreal. Low events, kind of how I have this in my notes right now. Again, maybe partially you expect that because it's a Stanley Cup playoff game and you got to meet the measure of the moment, play the strong defense, and be willing to battle from spot to spot. But this is a good defensive effort here for Montreal. Much more improved than I've seen over the last couple of years from them, trying to grow underneath Marty Saint-Louis as they still have a ton of young players learn how to win together, especially in big moments like these. Zach Bolduc loses the puck. Point. Now Bolduc tries to get a second effort. Janis Moser will throw this one up the ice. 8:50 left to go in the second. This is slowly put in behind the end boards. Winner goes up 3-2 in this first round series. We're in their 2-2 pivotal swing game as Tampa's at Benchmark International in front of their home crowd. It's very quiet right now for Tampa. Straight in front, it was saved by Dobish. Sent back around now for Kucherov. He throws it in around the horn. Spin and turn now for Brayden Point. Point on his backhand, tries to loop it around. Here comes Moser to try to find it. And this will be sent back down amongst the end boards. Not far enough for icing. Darren Raddysh will pick it up though. Forwards take a change for John Cooper's squad as Dominic James, the lone goal scorer for Tampa in this period, picks it up. Not to the left side. Dom James off the pin. He got 3 Canadiens trying to get this one loose. Lilleberg will watch this go straight back. Dobish nicely off the glass. We'll send this down. I guess he inadvertently iced it off himself. And then a late hit by Slafkovsky against Lilleberg, and Crozier comes over. He's already got one offsetting penalty. He's not afraid to mix things up as he's really giving it to Juraj here. Evans will win this puck. Now to the left side, this will be off a spin. Try to get picked up by Montreal. Jake Evans will see this one get flipped in the corner. Friday, game 6. Let's say Friday, game 6 at 7 p.m. Again, that font almost had it at the wrong side. Looked like game 6-7. As this is sitting behind the end boards. I'll tell you, with ESPN, it's not the coverage that it used to be. You've been saying that for years. As this will be pushed across by Evans near the left side dot. 7:20 left to go in the middle frame. As this goes to Emerson Lilleberg. Lilleberg now near the left side for Dom James. Full spin, takes a hit. And Arbor Jackeye will finish off that one as this goes back now to Lilleberg. Thought he might have been off sides, but they will give it to him as this is picked up and behind the end boards now from Marty Saint-Louis squad. They're going to be going left to right. They got the jerseys in white with the red tops and the blue pants. The bolts are in all blue with the white font. Here's a spin and lead now. High slot now. Sending behind the end boards now for Carrier. Gallagher back out on the ice. Spin for Philip Danault. Danault now getting busy behind the net. On his backhand. Throws it back to the point. Here is Carrier. Chip into the corner now. Gallagher trying to do some work. Got Newhook in front of the net providing a screen. He's trying to clear everybody out, trying to bother Vasilevsky's positioning. As Matheson's shot goes wide. And then Vasilevsky will find it, will hold it near the left side of the post as we get some more pushing and shoving. McDonough's not leaving anybody alone. And somebody lost their helmet on the other side. That might be Gallagher. That is Brandon Gallagher. Again, he's got the same bald spot that I do off the top of my head. But but he's a much better hockey player at this point. It's good to see him draw back in the lineup after being scratched for 4 games and scoring that first goal. I imagine that was not easy for Marty St. Louis to do. Montreal wins another face-off, but this will belong to Yanni Gourde. We'll get in the left side red line and fire it in. Dobson slow to stopping it behind the net. Tampa looking to forecheck. As this will be catapulted but not out. It bounces off of J.J. Moser. He'll pinch it in the left side corner. Montreal still leads 2-1. Are we destined for yet another one-goal game between these two? Last one was decided in regulation 3-2, but the other 3 games have went to OT. Picked up now near the left of the glass. 5:40 left to go in the second. Battle for it near the left side red line. Montreal's off. They're going to check back up. They'll throw it back to defense here. Lane Hutson, he's open. He got the pass quickly. Had to slam it around the end boards because he was being chased. Suzuki finishes his hit. Bolduc, good play. We'll get this one back. And Jacky has some trouble with it. And Dobson, no problem, cleans it up. Bolduc gets it back. And again, this is stolen. Tampa reads the steal here. They throw it at the net. Dobson makes the save. There's a big rebound. And now Bolduc's got to get to work here near the left side. Bolduc had some trouble 2 times trying to handle that puck as Gage Gonsalves takes a hit to make a play. Jacky, outstretched pass. As this will be Alexander Texier. He is caught in all sorts of stick battles there with Lilleberg near the left side corner. Gonsalves now with Eric Chernak. Again, Victor Hedman won't be joining the Tampa Bay Lightning probably to the middle of the second round if Tampa survives this series, according to head coach John Cooper. Toward the left side red line now for Kirby Dach. Picked up. Turnaround chance. Vasilevsky fights it off from an odd angle. And Tampa slowly at least get this across the center ice. Shot board 20-14. But it seems like Montreal's had the more danger chances here, as this will be iced against the Bolts. Shot goes up high off of Lane Hutson as Montreal gets a retrieval. Good pinball pass. Back at the point now. Hutson sends it across. Rister, this one blocked before it ever hit Vasilevsky. We're on 4 minutes. Lilleberg, pass now. Dom James, Bjorkstrand. James gets it back. He tries to throw it across. This is a partial break now for Bjorkstrand, but he gets sticked away. No penalty call. That was Dobson having to make an extra reach out and dive. Hutson quickly tried to counter the other way. This will be settled back down. The ref hops out toward the left side red line as it's still 20-14 on the shot board. Kucherov have to provide some back support as Montreal with an excellent forecheck. They'll get the steal. Slafkovsky throws it toward the net. This will pinball. High slot now. Montreal sends it down as this goes harmlessly into the right side boards. Montreal still chasing it. Carrier gets it initially. Slafkovsky pinned against the glass. This goes back to Carrier. Pivots. Shoots now. He hits the glass up high. Back in behind him, Vasilevsky. Good forecheck here for the Canadiens. Matheson sends it across. That one goes wide to the right post. Picked up now for the corner. This is Dano. Now Texier. Texier on his backhand. He gets dispossessed. And Philip Dano will retreat. Dano here for Matheson. The A Has it now. Rister. This one goes up high. Picked up now for the Lightning. It's a 2-on-1. Lilleberg the other way. Rister scores! It's Guentzel! The second time they don't have to pass across, and the Bolts tied again. It's 2-2. .43rd career playoff goal, second in the series for Jake Guentzel. And I got to mention this now. It's 2 2-on-1s for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You had Dom James. You had some reinforcements there, and it was Lilleberg and Guentzel. And you have to imagine with Lilleberg, he's not going to throw the pass across Jake. He's going to shoot it. But 2 2-on-1s where they had the opportunity to pass to Tampa, they elected not to, and the shot gets roofed on the left side top corner of the mesh past Dobson. Maybe that is something we'll watch going forward. It's 2-2. We take a break at 2:27 of the second. It's a tie game once again. Tampa scores twice on two separate 2-on-1s. Dominic James and Jake Guentzel answers the goal from Kirby Dach. The first period goal from Brendan Gallagher. That is why we sit level here. Rolling puck. This play was blown dead before it hit Vasilevsky, so I guess we're going to stay right here on the right side. That'll be another ozone draw. So first round, Friday, Game 6, Lightning Canadiens. That's guaranteed because this series is 2-2. Sabres up 3-2 on the Bruins. They're trying to close it out right now. The Golden Knights and Mammoth. They're currently 2-2. They're in action. Their game 3 would be another 3-2. That would be in Utah on Friday. Neutral zone draw. Yanni Gourde can't win it. And Montreal's done a great job as far as the hits and face-offs and everything else. But again, the goals are essentially even in this series. Lane Hutson with a ripper in this one, deflected back in behind the inboards. A big hit finished off in behind the net. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia still scoreless. One-timer at the net. trying to jam away at it was Montreal, and this one is stopped. Demidov was there, but Vasilevsky was better and made the save. Another face-off loss. Cirelli can't find it. Here's a big shot that gets looped in the corner now. Tampa. This time it's a 3-on-2. Kucherov was on the right side. Hagel trying to pick this one up to the right side red line. 1:20 left to go in the second. Bounced in off the inboards and then looped into the corner now. There's Chernak. Has it. Outstretched pass. This one picked off by Marty Saint-Louis squad and then catapulted into the corner. Ryan McDonough, backhand puck protect. Has to leave it around for his defensive partner, Eric Chernak. Here's a clear that goes down the ice, right across the opposite end. Quickly the other way. Here's a spin and turn now as Montreal falls down near the left side dot. Picked up now. High slot. This is Montreal with a shot. It got deflected there. It was Carrier who let it go. Picked up now for Matheson. Try to chip it off the glass. He did gain the red. Down to 30 seconds left to go in the middle frame. It's turned over in front of Vasilevsky's net. And then Philip Danault gets hit up high, no call. As Tampa quickly tries to go the other way. He might get a chance to get a shot out of this. We'll have to loop it into the corner there for Gonsalves. He will pick it up. Now I'm behind the net. Here's a good chance now for Bjorkstrand. Throws it now for Lilleberg. Cross ice. Rister gets deflected into the corner. And Montreal has it. Try to loop it out. Lilleberg fighting for it. But that should end the second period. We are tied 2-2. It was 1-0 Montreal after one. But Tampa scores twice. 2 2-on-1s. Dominic James and then unassisted Jake Guentzel. Ansel's Kirby Dach. 11 seconds later on the backhand, Vasilevsky goes to play it. He thought somebody was behind him. Brandon Gallagher gets the steal, and then he tries to backhand it out in front of no luck to Danault, and it bounced off his left skate. Otherwise, Montreal could have taken the lead. We'll come back and call the third. So shots after dose periods here is 23-17. That is good for 15-11 for Tampa in that frame. Hits 26-18. (11-8) in that period. Montreal still leads it either way. And the face-offs has not even been close. This is really pitiful, to be honest. Face-offs are 25-9 for Montreal. And they won that battle 18-4 in the second. So, I mean, Montreal, with the exception of shots, I think it played a strong game. I understand that ESPN said, oh, they're not handling the puck all that well. It's a little bit sloppy and this and that. Yeah, it might be, but I think there is some defensive intensity there. And both teams are really battling to try to meet the measure of the moment. I like the way that Montreal's played in this game, and I think that's going to continue. The only thing I would watch for, as I mentioned, is the 2-on-1s, because both of those were shots. And for Dom James and Jake Guentzel. They were not passes across, and maybe the next one will be. Who knows? But if I'm Dobish, I'm cheating over to that left side corner. Maybe then it opens up the pass, but you can't get beat again because you had 2-on-1s throughout the entire game in that period, and you got scored on by both. So the only two power plays in that period belonged to Tampa. They didn't score on either one of them. I made the mention in the pregame. This is just me walking into this series for the first time. Talk about, 10, 9, 8, 6, 7 power plays every time per game. I don't think we're going to get as many today. Today we got 5 so far. Nobody scored on them. Tampa over 3, Montreal scored over 2, stemming from the first double minor against McDonough. But the power play numbers are certainly down more now than they were before. I would expect that to be the case. And the way that this is being played, would I be surprised if it's yet another one-goal game? Probably not. But I'd like to see this get done in regulation so I could save the pipes. We'll see, though. There is no guarantees there. Got about at least another 10 minutes or so that we can kind of track this down between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. So we'll take a look at that. Pistons have a 9-point lead on the Magic in a game that they have to win. That's in Prime Video. They're down 3-1 in the series at home at LCA. Tigers still up 3-2 in the 7th.
The largest selection of Stanley Cup playoffs apparel and NHL shop. Take advantage of today's special offer on your favorite teams and brands only at NHLshop.com. Our SAP coaching insights. 4 teams in the history of the National Hockey League have come back to win a best of 7 series after trailing 3-0. 1942 Maple Leafs. 1975 Islanders against the Penguins. First, the 2010 Flyers for that team. You were a big part of it. Big reason why the Flyers made it to the postseason that year. And then the Kings over San Jose. 2014 Penguins hope to become the 5th. After winning the last 2. Hagel works the puck back out to the point. Juraj. Here's Mantha, comes out from behind the net, blocked off by Brayden. Comes back out to the right side, Lieutenant. Now Mantha with it. Mantha shoots, blocked. Cirelli comes on the loose puck. And his own teammate, Soderblom, in the foot. Good target, Cincinnati over Soderblom. And now Mantha lifts the puck in. Hurt to get him, that's for sure. They heard Sidney Crosby refer to him during the post-game press conference. After game 5, that's 3. Soderblom's nickname. I thought it would be Glue. Perhaps he is too. Now tipping. behind the net. Puck sent back down. There's the line and shoots. And that's blocked by Matheson. There's Sandheim. Quickly ahead for Tippett. Moves the puck in around Carlson. Waterspoon. After Pittsburgh. Now it's Carlson. Waterspoon up the middle. Crosby couldn't find the puck. And it's Marteau sending it back down. 7.5 remaining, second period, no score. Kenny Albert trying to change the station. Well, like Stanley Arena in Philadelphia. Here comes Case. Case backhands in around Shea. Columbia off the boards. These two defensemen have not seen much ice tonight. Columbia and Shea.
Both around 5 minutes. So the Penguins were primarily going 14.
Slovenia. Up the boards. Played by Novak. Look off the center. Barkey. Now Hutson. Return for Barkey. Off the stick of Dvorak. Shots 18-14 Penguins. In a scoreless game as Vladar leaping for Drysdale. Here's Barkey. Dvorak into the Penguin zone. Got to get through to Konecny. Broken up by Novak. And back across by Hutson for stealing. Now for the puck in front of the Penguins bench.
Fans were wanting too many minutes, but it looked like everything was okay by the Penguins bench.
No call, they continue on. Here's Juraj. Hutson had the puck stripped by Steeler. Knocked down at center by Juraj. Hutson in pursuit with Steeler, who goes down. Now Dewar and Glendenning. There's Hutson. Off the mark. Couturier plays the puck. Couturier lifts it out of the zone. Knocked down by Waterspoon. Now sent off by Dewar. Couturier with it once again. Under 6 remaining in the period. As Wilson shoots in. Waterspoon back on it. Hit down low by Couturier. Now Tippett plays the puck forward line. Out to the point, Bristol Lightning. And across to Sandheim. There's Marteau. Back down Bristol Lightning. Towards the net. Stick aside by Shilong.
Yeah, that's Sandheim with the tip. Another defenseman down by the net.
Puck put down by Dewar. Gathered in by Bristol Lightning. Over 4 minutes without stoppage. There's Bristol Lightning. Puck winds around. Played by Erik Karlsson. Back the other way. Here's Soderblom for the Penguins. Under 5 remaining in the period. York. Now Tippett. Oh, Tippett took a hit to clear the puck out. Soderblom back on it. And now it's Shea for Mantha. Game 6 in Philadelphia. Flyers lead the series 3 games to 2. Soderblom spins to them. Throws a backhand pass across. Knocked the hit, and here comes Nikita. Saved by Shilong.
Play by Tippett to get it out of the zone and get Beachcock in on that fast break. Good save there by Shilong.
Now Soderblom. Hutson to the left of Vladar. Buck winning for Philadelphia. Off the stick of Rush. There's Segrist. Now Buck. Buck cutting wide on Juraj. Buck still with it. Shoots. Buck comes loose. Beachcock puts the puck in. And the play is whistled in. And Shilong hit the puck.
Red signal, no goals. Beachcock tried to find a way around the left pad and tried to jam it in, but Shilong was able to get that right pad up against the post. Before that, the breakaway for Beachcock, and Shilong continues to be a story in this series.
Good for Arthur Sheelovs. He wins with the Abbotsford Canucks. He had a really good win in one of the games that Cooper and I called against the Edmonton Oilers in the second round a few years ago. He gets to play in a big moment again. Happy for him for that.
That means the money you spend with Pure Energy rubbing stays nailed down right here in your community. If it's time for you to rub, stay local. Think Pure Energy rubbing. And the one to one going around the net, number 22. Here he comes, and what goal then? Look at this goal. Excellent. And then Nikita back in the lineup. Come on. Oh, here he comes. Oh, did he do it? It's in 1-0 Flyers. No! She lost. How's your bracket, PK? Two teams have moved on so far. The Flyers can join them with a win tonight. Listen, my bracket's looking just fine. I still believe. All right, boys. Oh, here we go. Third period. Vibe check. What's your vibe? Give me a vibe.
Oh, my vibe is you got to make much better decisions. Obviously, the next goal is going to score, is going to win the game.
Bring vibe check from S. What do you got?
I'm 6'1", tons of fun.
Yeah.
I like long walks on the beach, called freaking Hutson. That's my script. That's the vibe I'm going with. You know, that's my script. I'm just kidding. Montreal's got to get it on the forecheck. Don't mess around with it. They like to pull pucks back. Be sharp. Tampa's going to be opportunistic.
Good when they have on a ghost.
Yeah, I'm
giving you the
determination. 5.5 minutes. That we're all but 5.5 minutes. This game has either been tied or a 1-goal lead.
Great series.
There's been what's going to happen? Oh,
look at the water.
Get some moisture. Get some put the old athlete on the lips. Best. Come on. He doesn't want those lips to crack. What's up? Strap it on. Discover intermission report.
There I was, enjoying my lunch. No food, no energy. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving.
Yeah, let's get to some of the chippiness going on in this game tonight. Moser can Kucherov. Who's doing a nice shot. That's what frustration is saying at the moment, but here's Gallagher back in the lineup tonight. Creating angles around the front of the net, like he always does. You need a lot more of this in this game. The emotions and tensions are high. You see Anderson spraying Vasilevsky there. But some of these little details, that, yes, it's a little chippy, but it's a way to get guys off their game. Obviously, Kroger, giving them a little bit of a piece of his mind after they hit up some Caufield.
No penalty, we'll play on. Team leader TJ Oshie with Hamlet is with us as well. We open the show by saying welcome to the closest, meanest series of any first round series. And the closest, 98, maybe 99% now of the time in this series, these two teams have been tied or separated by one goal. And so Oshie, we go again in the third. What do you expect to see here?
I think Montreal has had the momentum on their side most of the game, but they're still tied 2-2. They gotta have more of the same game clock speed. And Tampa Bay, if I'm in that locker room, I'm saying, boys, we're not even playing that well, and the score is 2-2. Let's go get it.
Here we go. Start of the third period. Send him behind the inboards now as Delbish stops. So you got Matheson directly behind the net. Delbish in the stand-up near the left post. His puck is not moving too much as the first 20 seconds have expired. So the Zebras have the right to blow the play dead. They will. This will stay here in the defensive zone of the Canadiens. Kucherov 1450 as far as total TOIs, about 15 minutes here. This stays in the zone as quick shot as Dobish will hold at 1936. So first couple of quick whistles, that was let go by Darren Raddysh. Again, TJ Oshie had profiled a little bit into the Olympic coverage. Again, he'd spent time for NBC, now for ESPN. Saying Tampa really hasn't played well. They said that a lot. Even in the ESPN side, they're really talking about Tampa. But I'm thinking the pressure that I've seen off the post, off the overhead cam, and then a good defensive play there knocks it away from the stick of Nikita Kucherov. Just gets hunted back down. Trying to get a number there for you for the defensive. It looks like Hutson might have stopped the goal against Nikita Kucherov if he would have picked up that rebound. Now to the left side, Kucherov, right dot, pumps the brakes. This goes back in behind now for Janis Moser. Takes a hit. 1 goal in the last 19 playoff games. Game 2 was the last time. But Kucherov, his regular season and playoffs, it's a little bit different. There's a long wrister. Scores! And off the rush, it's Alexander Texier. I had to look behind me for a moment to make sure that Vasilevsky had it or not. That was almost like a Nazem Kadri situation, in and out of that camera well. But Texier with a ripper. This one does get a piece of Vasilevsky's glove and then hops in the net. Montreal's got the lead one more time, and 3 of these 5 goals have been point blank off the rush, as after an initial save that hits the post and a good stop there for Hutson, Texier scores. And Montreal just won't go away in this series. That's what Tampa has to be thinking about. That's what I've been saying and across this. I really like this team. If they can just continue to get some goaltending and play some defense, that's all they need, especially the goaltending. Dobson is going to have to play well if they're going to have a long run, whether it's Jacob Fowler or Montembeau at some point in an emergency. You got goaltending that's been about an 860 save percentage, and that's just not going to be good enough. So that's probably what will hold Montreal back at this point from winning a Stanley Cup. But at some point, I think they can do so with this group if they can continue to get better and get some goaltending. I really do believe that. As this is picked up and under the left side boards and off the long flip, John Cooper's squad got to check back up. And this will start again now for Caden Gooley. You got Struble on the other end with him. That's where the pass will go near the right side dot. So Alexander Texier gets a goal. It's been a goal in every period for the Montreal Canadiens at some point. It was 2 in the second. Guentzel had the latest from Dominic James. This one hit Vasilevsky up high, made the initial save, and now racing him across the left wing, trying to get around some body contact. I can't get a number on there. I think that was Guentzel that got taken off the puck. And Doc will lead this one back down the ice for Montreal. I should pull back up my rosters here in a moment when I get a stoppage. Is Jake Evans. Now we'll have to race the other way. They've catapulted into the corner. Yanni Gord. And off a stick chop, he gets taken away from the puck. And Marty Saint-Louis' squad expertly throws this up the ice. Doc, it's way off sides. And Tampa with a little bit of showmanship and a little pushing allowed Montreal's play to never be able to get started. Kucherov now to the left side, working behind the net now. Tampa trying to get puck possession. Rister, this one goes wide to Dobson. You got Cirelli in front. Hagel gets the retrieval. He's been so good in this series as Brandon Hagel. This one up high. Dobson fights through the trees and makes the save at 16:04. A camera shot there of Ryan McDonough. Dobson doesn't look bothered so much at this point, but have to imagine if you can continue, as I said, to get that defense and goaltending, they would be in a good standing. Montreal probably is the best Canadian hope. You can talk about Edmonton at this point, but I do think it is Montreal here as far as being able to get the job done. And not in terms of who's left. I'm talking about in terms of totality between Toronto, Ottawa. I would have to go Montreal, and even across the board in the Western Conference, I would say the same thing too. I know the Winnipeg Jets had a rough year, but I just think they're the team that can try to get it done if they're going to do it. Toward the right side, it's Bolduc. Lilleberg now. This one gets lofted over his head. Intercepted now. Now and across the left side point, it is a long chance there for Lilleberg. Missed the mark near the top left post. Tampa hunts the puck. It's Gage Gonsalves. Try to throw this back off the spin. Here is Lilleberg. Back in behind the net. One of the Tampa players gets knocked out away from the play as Chernak's got it. He will send this in. He gets it very hard in the right side boards by Doc. And settled in the left side red line now. Pass is intercepted, but there's 4 players there to take the puck away from Oliver Bjorkstrand. The jerseys in white try to go right to left. They got the red tops and the blue pants with the red striping on the Montreal Canadiens. The all blue at home at Benchmark International Arena with the white font on the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're down 3-2. Spin and turn now. Texier will throw this back there. Gooley takes a shot. This one fought up the stick shaft of Vasilevsky. 14:50 left to go in the third. Montreal's got a 3-2 lead. They scored a goal in every period. Answered Dominic James and Jake Guentzel of the second. Texier's got the latest goal. Gallagher and Doc have the others. So secondary scoring has been big in this series. They combined for 6 points in a previous win. And he got 3 right now because you got no points here for Suzuki and Caufield, and you're up Hagel. Sent back him on the inboards now for Eric Chernak. Chernak up the gut for Paul, looking for Corey Perry. Perry gets the steal and off the stick, left to the right side of the bumper, and this will be gloved down by Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky gets bottled up. Jake Evans can't get there in time, and this is slammed back amongst the boards for Littleberg. Mike Matheson toward the left side red line sends it in. 13:55 left to go in the third. Johnny with you on a solo call from Benchmark International Arena. It's Game 5, Round 1 between Montreal and Tampa. It's 2 Atlantic teams going at it. Every one of these games have been decided by 1 goal, and then we have another 1-goal game here. 3-2 Montreal. This will be sent back down the inboards now. Littleberg takes another hit, and will be settled down by Tampa's defense. Start again one more time. Here's a chase now for Kucherov. Soft check in the corner of Suzuki. Can't get it. Slafkovsky now. Looks like he might be double shifted across this line. Send this one back now for Lane Hutson. Try to play it off the carom. Chernak on the pinch. Good stick sweep there for Suzuki. Gets it out of the zone as the first 7 minutes have expired in the third. Falling to a knee to make a play. Yanni Gord is still onside. It's 2 forecheckers for Tampa. They might get caught here. This gets sent back down for Vasilevsky. Has some trouble with it in behind the net. 6 shot attempts, 5 shots on goal for Kucherov. 2-on-1. Pass across for Gord had to be sauced out of the air. Gord picks it up near the left side red line. Sends it back kitty corner across the boards. Gord now. He gets tied up by Matheson directly in behind the net. Turnaround now for Suzuki trying to locate it. High slot now for Hagel Ripper, and this one is blocked before it ever hit the big cap. Cirelli now at the point. It is Crozier. Shoots. This one deflected now and back down. 12:15 up to go in the third. Rolling vulcanized rubber will be collected by Ryan McDonough in the jerseys in blue. Bolts need a goal. Pushed up ahead for Dominic James. He had in one in the second. He iced the puck. So it'll be Marty St. Louis' squad to start it in the O zone, choosing the circle.
Montreal huddle there. You were telling me about how you guys would huddle co-games for plays off face-offs. Yeah, this is the only situation in hockey where you can actually set up and run a play. And so they got to play for a win, play for a loss.
Game 5 winner wins 79% of the time in a series. That's what Montreal is trying to do, up a goal with 8 minutes expired in the third. Shot board's starting to get a little even now as Montreal is doing a good job on that front. 26-22, they're behind, but they're working it now. New hook off the cross pass for Gallagher. Off the end boards, a back feed. As this goes now for Caden Gooley. High slot, settle it down. Struble shoots. This deflected. Montreal's still with it. They got it now. Arbor Jackeye slowly across the point. Here's a spin and turn, a knockdown against the left side inboards. Gage Gonsalves now tries to get it out. Montreal forecheck, not making that happen. Long flip goes into the crowd, up and out of play. 11:23. They might say no penalty here for this time around. Montreal already has 2 delay games as Jackeye looking to plead his case in against Tampa. And this is also another look for Marty St. Louis at the iPad, but I don't think we're going to get anything out of this time around. We'll take a break. Alexander Texier, the latest, has given Montreal the lead. Damn copyright music I always got to change here. Texier from Hutson and Suzuki. So if Suzuki finally gets on the board, So nothing for Caufield, 1 for Suzuki. That was a secondary assist. Appreciate anyone that's joined in between this Game 5, Round 1 between Tampa and Montreal. It's been a while since I've been able to stream because I've been so busy with work duties in the MIHL, but this has been a fun matchup to take a hold of right now. Tigers still lead 3-2, but it's bottom 8, 2 outs for Atlanta here. Kyle Finnegan on the mound against Drake Baldwin, who's 2 for 3 today with a run scored. So 2 outs, got to try to be able to get the job done. Colorado destroying Cincinnati. I think they just went final 13-2. Pistons holding on 107-98, 5:35 in the fourth. That one on Prime Video, so I can't even watch that. But we're covering this anyway. Wanted to get back into the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Montreal's top line, Slafkovsky on it, did not have a single point in 5 on truck. So it's a third line point and Richard. The top line came. Impressive stuff. Sometimes they also have to look at the team. So if you're getting scoring from the rest of your lineup, your top guys, it's really not just being even is good enough when you have that second scoring.
10:40 left to go in the third. As it's picked up now, spin and turn. Hagel trying to buy himself some time. What a pass. Gets it there to Guentzel now. High slot. Good stick lift there for Montreal on the back end. Gets the steal as it's 10:30 left to go in the third. Alexander Texier with the latest go-ahead goal. Montreal scored once in every period. Tampa, as mentioned, scored twice in the second. That's why it's 3-2. It was Dominic James and Jake Guentzel. Texier, and then the earlier goals from Doc and Brendan Gallagher as the shot from Plank goes up above Jakob Dobson. Here's a rush. Back into the defensive end goes John Cooper's squad. Can't really take a change as we're halfway through regulation in the third. Mike Matheson, play this off the inboards again. Noah Dobson, he's done for the rest of the year. So that was their big addition for the New York Islanders, but this Montreal team is still definitely good enough. Tampa's got some numbers here. Bounce in front for Gord. He'll stay with it and behind the net. It'll dispossess as Doc falls down. He gets hit by Bjorkstrand. Arbor Jacki, Wi-Fi in there as well with Struble as Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gord, the former teammates from Seattle, now back with Tampa once more. We're just getting worked over in those camera shots. This will be settled back down now off the spin and turn. Lilleberg still got some work to do in his own end. This is a good forecheck for Juraj Slafkovsky. Dangerous pass. Near the left side red line. Rolling puck just stays in. Here's a wrister for Gooley. This goes off the lively inboards. Sent back around now. And Tampa will get it out of their own end as Chernak with an outstretched pass. We'll settle this one down. Dobson slowly stop it with the stick as it should have been left for Gooley, but I think Jake Evans will get a piece of it now. But Tampa's there. You have to go quickly and behind the inboards now. Cole Caufield takes his pass. Picks this one up now for Suzuki. This is Evans with a shooting lane. He gets denied. And now an opportunity for Hutson. Throws it in behind the inboards. 8:20 left to go in the third. Gallagher short side chance. This one goes up high. Picked up off the rush is Jake Evans with a full clapper goal that was stopped by the Cat. Lane Hutson as Gallagher takes a hit to make a play. He has spent his entire career in Montreal, and I'm sure he's happy to be on this team he is right now. Again, he was scratched in the first 4 games. He scored the opening goal. Good contact there, rubs Tampa off the puck. And new hook. Put this one up the ice. He's getting another former Colorado Avalanche fan with a ton of speed, trying to find his footing. Again, he's really about defense. He scored a ton of goals in Colorado, but you have that presence there to be able to provide anything on the forecheck and that speed, and that's exactly what Tampa needs. They got to find a way to hold this lead. Work them behind the net now off the poke check. Corey Perry gets the puck out, and Hutson pick it back up now for Struble. Back to Lane, and now Struble once more. Near the left side dot. Start again now for Cole Caufield. Here's Lane Hutson, left side red line, gingerly just gains it as this is slowed down by Vasilevsky and amongst the goal cage. Shot board getting closer to even as we talked about. 26-24, Tampa barely has the edge. It's been all Montreal in the third. Here comes Brayden Point off the rush. Point, high slot off the drop. Beautiful stick blade deflection knocks that away. As this goes the other way now for Texier. He's got one. His shot gets deflected. He's got the go-ahead right now. GWG at 6:45 in the third. No shots since 16:07 of the second. It's been long stretches of 5, 6, 7 minutes at a time. Second time it was mentioned without a shot. Fan on the 1T is Tampa. They'll have to pick it back up now. Kucherov open across the right wing. Drop to him. Sauce out of the air. Gets knocked away by Doc. Good play. Outstretched feet. It's a little bit too far for Slav. They'll have to pick this one up now for Vasilevsky. Slafkovsky on the forecheck. Able to get the steal. Marty St. Louis squad send it around. Juraj back to the point. We'll get it one more time. Try to loop it out to Jake Evans. And it's a one-on-one. Matheson got to get quickly back on his horse. Gets around a stick blade. It's stolen. Dobson makes the save, and his second dive has to force the hold on a rebound. 6:02. He's got it. It'll be a D-zone draw for Montreal.
Force Factor Creatine builds muscle and strength, improves recovery, and boosts cognitive function. Why? Force Factor Creatine contains 5 grams of clinically studied creatine monohydrate in each serving. Search Amazon for Force Factor Creatine today.
When did buying golf clubs get so complicated? Clubs became so over-designed, overhyped, and overpriced. That's why I started Sticks. Premium golf clubs, proven performance, half the price of the other guys. Head to Sticks.golf for simply great clubs.
Back in Tampa, getting late for the home team. When I look at the Canadiens, goals and flying blocks, keep in mind, Moser's not scoring. Suzuki's not scoring. Slafkovsky's not scoring tonight. The Canadiens are Gallagher. Not scoring on this one. And if anything, I can remember from the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs, when we won the Stanley Cup, it said that you need everybody. Not only hitting, not only blocking shots, but also scoring goals. And tonight, Montreal's getting it from the bottom half of their forward lineup. Exactly household names there. And we'll see.
5-on-5 point leaders. Zach Bolduc has 4 for the Montreal Canadiens. Again, they're talking about the depth, and I profiled that in the pregame. I know it was about 5 or 6 minutes, but they had a game where they had about 6 or 7 points from all of the bench depth outside for the one from Lane Hutson everybody getting the job done. And that's what makes you believe why this team is playing so well, why they could be good going forward, even in this playoffs alone. We know that they're going to be good across the board, as we talked about. I mentioned that between the goaltending and defense ad nauseum, but Montreal's playing very strong against Tampa, because this is sending behind the end boards now. Here's a tie up here for Jake Evans, who's already getting back out there. It feels like he's almost being double shifted by Marty St. Louis squad. That third line, and between Evans and Bolduc and mixing there with Caden Gooley and all of them, they're just dominating. 5:10 left to go in the third. We're at Benchmark International Arena. This is the home of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and right now Montreal is on the verge of going up 3-2 in this series. It would be yet another one-goal game, 5 straight. Slafkovsky does not have a goal in this game. Neither does Suzuki and Caufield. Suzuki's got 1 assist, and yet Montreal's up 3-2. So you have to read that for what it is. 5-on-5 play for them has been good. Send him behind the end boards now. Matheson almost lost it. He got it off the stick lift. This goes in the high slot. Picked up now for Slav. We'll send this one ahead. 4:30 left to go in the third. Yanni Gord pushes ahead now. Bounces up off the stick blade of Anthony Cirelli. It's J.J. Moser. Lively out the inboards now for Brandon Hagel. Has to curl it in. Dobish easily makes the stop. Shot board 27-24. Montreal's never been far away from that, but Tampa's still up by 3. And now they'll get an ozone draw with 4:12 left.
Friday here on ESPN 2. Same game. Lightning Canadiens, 7 Eastern. Montreal, if they can hang on here, they'll have a chance to close out the Lightning.
All important ozone draw for John Cooper's squad. Brayden Point can't win it. Montreal has won another one of those. Let me just give you a live update while I can. 32-12 in the circles. 3 straight first-round losses, made Stanley Cup final prior 3 seasons and won 2 cups. Again, Cooper and I called one of their losses in 2022. That was the first one that we had together. And ever since then, it's been first-round mediocrity. Falls down. Picked up now for Montreal behind the end. They can kill some more this time. They got brushed in front of the goal crease of Andrei Vasilevsky. Evans gets the steal. He'll turn it in front of the net. Jake Guentzel now trying to provide support. Big double team hit. Takes down one of the Canadiens. Picked up now for Yanni Gord. 3:20 left to go in the third. We're coming about 1 minute away from the Big Cat having to vacate the goal crease. Settle back down and amongst for Crozier. Here's a chance and off the rush. It's been 2 2-on-1s in that second period as Carrier runs into Gord. This is now settled back. A lost puck into the netting is what the call will be at 3:07 as Yanni Gord and Jake Evans then combine. Yanni Gord got hit 3 times in that shift as Vasilevsky will get some more camera shots. We will take one more break, and then we will likely get set to close unless Tampa's got some heroics.
Second to none for restaurant quality. It's dough to done in 2 minutes. And if the oven dares to have the most range, it's just one of 15 plus cooking modes. Like air frying for healthier and crispy, no sweat. It's steam baking, so the party spread is more important. When you dare to bring more flavor to the table, dare to expect more from your oven. Frigidaire. You're looking at 1,000 years of breaking and entering. Pardon my butterfingers. And you're soaking tacos. It's like some people just don't want infectious disease in their kitchen. Less than tests.
Gold Pig tea is brewed from real tea leaves. Grown in a real tea field. Under a real sun, which is real high.
Companies everywhere, boys and AI. Problem is, nothing works together. That was nothing. Learning the service now AI platform breaks down the rules. It integrates everything in your workflow.
Any data source connected to AI control tower, we can finally manage
Easiest if everybody just moves that one.
Stanley Cup playoffs coverage continues Friday. 3-game sixes for you. Lightning Canadiens. Here on ESPN 2 at 7. Sabres Bruins. Look to be a game 6 there. Both nights back to finish off a great Friday night on the ESPN family of Netflix. Montreal's got a big huddle. What's going on there, Moser?
So they're using the TV timeout right now, basically like a timeout. They know Slafkovsky's likely coming out of the net soon, so they're going over their 6-on-5 coverage or 5-on-6 depth and what to look for in Tampa. They've already gone through this before the game, but it's just a Christmas pressure of what to do. Everyone's told responsibilities. The Billy's going to be talking. Attention to be behind that moment. You got to get on the know what you're going to do, and then use the TV timeout to go over it.
Jake Evans has been phenomenal in the faceoff circle, 12 of 13. Wins it again. 3 minutes left to go in the third. That's all that's left of this game 5. And Tampa might be going down 3-2. Curling puck. Vasilevsky hadn't left the goal crease. And he might have to get set to do so now once he gets the motion from John Cooper. Left to right go the Tampa Bay Lightning. Consalvis plays it off the bumper. He throws it at the net. Janis Moser now curls it around. 29-24, if I don't tongue-tie myself, on the shot board. This goes up and on a play at 2:33 of the third. And Dobson will get some skates in behind the net here as we get set for another draw. Now, as it is, I'll pull back up the box here. Vasilevsky 21 of 24, Dobson 27 of 29. It would be, I believe, 4th game in this series out of 6 where Vasilevsky has had a sub-900 save percentage, and that is not going to get it done here. Empty net now for Tampa. It's official at 2:33. Alexander Texier would have the GWG. Jake Evans 12 of 13, trying to go 13 of 14 in the circle. He can't win it this time. Cirelli off the drawback. Kucherov. Slapper gets denied to the left pad of Dobson. High slot now for Tampa. Their season almost going to be on the line here, certainly, if they don't score. 2:15 left to go in the third. It's a 2-2 series tie. Guentzel, ripper right into the catcher glove of Dobson. 2:12 left to go in the third. Tampa now 30-24 on the shot board. And I've made a couple errors here. I'm starting to feel a little bit of nerves. I apologize, everybody. 3-2 still your score. One more of these for Anthony Cirelli. He can't win it again. Evans wins another one. He's only lost 2 on the night. This is tipped at the line and out. Excellent work there for Montreal. They'll be able to kill some time. Philip Danault out there. They'll slam it into the corner. And it's 157 iced against Montreal. They can't change, but they got their best face-off man out there in Jake Evans. Tie up. Cirelli wins it. This belongs to the Bolts. Near the left side dot. Darren Raddysh was the one that gave it and got it back. Left side chance. Hagel shoots. It's at the net. Tampa cancels it off now to Kucherov near the right side dot. Here's Guentzel, cross ice feed. Dobson gets knocked down momentarily. Pops back up to his feet. High slot now. Raddysh. Hagel. Cross pass. Tampa dangerous. Kucherov with a one touch. This one goes up high. And it's the netting. 1:28 left to go in the third. As Tampa starting to put pressure on that shot board in Dobson. 1:28 left in the third. 88 seconds left to go in the game if this result holds. You had Cirelli, Hagel, Raddysh, and Kucherov trying to go left to right, up and down, post to post. And Dobson makes an initial save off the right side of the trapper. And then Kucherov with a rolling pass, probably when he should have shot it. I think we're going to get another timeout here. And this time it's going to belong to John Cooper's squad, says Steve Levy. So we'll stay here with 128 left. Let me give you a scoring update. Penguins Flyers are still 0-0. 10:31 in the third. Our game is 3-2 Canadiens with 128 left. The Braves have walked off the Tigers. Matheson home run, 2-run shot against Kenley Jansen. Boy, oh boy. The Pistons hold on against the Magic. That series still 3-2 Magic. They win 116-109. They did not cover that 10.5 point spread. I think that's silly to see that. Raptors Cavs tied at 103 with 10:30 in the fourth. But the Tigers got walked off. And it should be first place now for the Guardians. 15-16 on the Tigers, 16-16 on the Guardians. Tampa, 120 left to go in this game. Will roll back down the ice. Not far enough for icing. Darren Raddysh have to start this one again. Raddysh up the gut, the point. Across the right side wing. It's Brayden point. Slams it in behind the end boards. Try to get this one back to Brayden. It's rolling in over end. And that will be iced. 103 left to go in the third. Nikita Kucherov, this playoffs, that's a hell of a stat. 1 goal in the last 54 shots. I think this is the last 20 games. And that was game 2 where he had one there. Raddysh, now to the left side dot. Hagel, touch pass, cross ice, Kucherov. Here's Raddysh, down to 45 seconds. Kucherov, ripper, Dobson save. Slafkovsky curls it, but it's not out. Tampa's got it. Slap pass, Kucherov. Dobson gets hit hard. He goes back to the left side of the post. Tampa's got it. Working behind for Hagel. Now to Kucherov. 25 seconds left to go in the third. Nikita, high slot. Guentzel fires. This one goes to the left side. It bounced off of Dobish's 5-hole. Guentzel, high slot point block. Good work there for Montreal. Down to 14 seconds. This is to the right side. Kucherov, one touch. Guentzel cross ice speed. It's still not out. Down to 5. Tampa's going to shoot it. Down to 2. And in time's going to run out. Montreal wins 3-2. And they take a 3-2 series advantage back on home ice in the Bell Center. And we get some pushing and shoving late with Matheson and some dirty gloves. But Montreal, excellent work late. They get the job done. They win 3-2, take a 3-2 series advantage. And for the 5th straight game, all of these have been decided by 1 goal. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys could enjoy me for this. I might be back as early as Friday. We'll see what we get. That might depend on Penguins Flyers if it goes 7. Excellent work there for Montreal. They're a game away from knocking out Tampa in advance of the second round. Dobson, he did his job. Tampa worked it around nicely over the last 95 seconds or so. And I thought Kucherov maybe one too many touch passes, got a little bit indecisive. Guentzel in the bumper with Cirelli and Guentzel and Kucherov providing screens with Cirelli and Guentzel there on left and right, but it wasn't enough. Montreal holds on, wins 3-2. We'll talk soon. Peace.
How about this one? Good to know. the match, 3 minutes and 31 seconds. He's going to eat well tonight, ladies. He's going to be well tonight. Give this guy some pasta, some steak.
We'll see you guys. This was a heck of a game. Hopefully we can talk as soon as Friday. Montreal wins 3-2. Peace.